Hey, what's up everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us again. Back with Lair. The full Meathead crew's assembled. My name's Dan. Beside me we got Big Sean Sims, Mario the Collector, author extraordinaire, Josh Martyr. Today we're going to be, first off, we're going to be doing a full review of Fant 4 Stick, or also Fantastic Four. We're going to start off no spoilers, then we will go into spoilers, but we'll warn you.
Spoiler alert, it sucked.
I had an open mind going into this. If you watch our preview, I was down for all the Cronenberg stuff of what they're doing.
None of it was
No,
there.
I think there was. We'll get into spoilers a bit, but that kind of delivered for me. First half, I was down for it, and then just goes off a cliff, and it just becomes just a pitiful display. So, I don't know. Sean, what do you think?
This movie is like, you know when you're in high school and you're like, man, I'm gonna get my fucking shit together, and you have a book report to do, and you decide to start working on the book report as soon as, and you get a good nice half of it, and you're like, okay, and you go and you do your own thing, and you're like, man, I should start on that book report again. No, I'm good. I've got half of it. What's the worst that can happen? And then it's like the night of, and then you cram, and it's like, oh, I don't know what the heck. That's exactly what happened here.
At first, very much like you though, I kind of got what they were trying to go for at the beginning. Like, I understand this, and it was that they did have that Cronenberg-esque feel to it for a little bit, and then what I can only attribute it to is the empty, confused feeling I had after I watched Ang Lee's The Hulk. After the end scene, that's what I felt.
Oh, with the weird absorbing man, which is like pretty much in water and clouds and darkness that you can't see.
And then there's like that swirl thing at the end of the lake, and he's at the lake bottom, something's happening, we're not sure. That's what I felt at the end. I just felt alone and confused.
Like, it had a certain climb, it had certain potential at the beginning. Like, what we all saw was potential at the beginning. And everything was moving up, and it hit a pinnacle, and then it was like there was nothing on the other side. Or there was, I got to that point where I'm liking it. Like, there were certain things, like you're actually in my head a little bit where you're talking about how he was too young, to be that smart, and we're not getting into the spoilers yet. But it was just like, there was certain aspects that were just resonating over and over again. But I let that go with disbelief for the first little while. But then there was a point where it's just ridiculous, and I'm like, I'm tapping out of this one.
Yeah, you can really. I mean, we talked a little bit in our Fantastic Four preview. We talked a little bit about the problems on set with Josh Trank and the rumors going back, and the fact that they didn't let any of the media see it ahead of time. It is so blatantly obvious that this is not his. It's two different movies, really. Because as we're sitting there, and you get, it delivered on the good, gritty origin story. It delivered on the body horror, definitely. Because I was saying, like, this is the body horror I was looking for. This is the Cronenberg kind of Brundlefly type of really dark sci-fi I was looking for.
Yeah, even Human Torch looked kind of ghastly, ghoulish in a way. Like
almost like from that one
hellish,
one scene in V for Vendetta where V comes out into some flames.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes.
I mean, almost like that.
yes, a hellish vision.
So, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but the Human Torch lights on fire.
That shouldn't be a spoiler. If it's a spoiler, you don't deserve to be watching these movies.
It just drops off the cliff right after. It's as if there's no second act. You have kind of a long kind of origin first act that kind of sets it up, and then once they kind of get their powers, you think, okay, this is great, and then there's no second act. Immediately, and then immediately it goes into almost a build up to a climax. So what the hell happened here? What happened to
I completely equated it to Richard Donner and Superman. You know what I mean? Where it was stripped from him at one point, and it becomes two different movies. And it's like you have something where you can see had vision, and it was cohesive at first, and then absolutely looks like they just tried to salvage, with random parts at the end of it. It's like, let's put this together, reshoots, and it almost looked like, what I thought about it was that it looked very expensive. You know what I mean? Just for a movie, everything, like the sets, everything looked really expensive. And then it looks like at one point they ran out of money and go, just finish with what you have. And then, like patchstick together. You know what I mean? Glue and gum and toothpicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we'll probably get into it once we get into spoilers, or at least into the rumors. But honestly, like all the back and forth and all the rumors, especially in the media now between the director Josh Trank and Fox, is more entertaining than that second half of the movie. It's like a bad breakup online.
It's your fault.
Yeah, you did that. Well, I don't care. I wanted it done. Without going into spoilers, well, what do we think of Doom? Doom is just absolutely ruined. There was no redeeming qualities. Like,
how?
There's one part, and we'll talk about like when he first kind of shows up.
Yeah.
There's some interesting things that I was like, oh, holy shit, that was kind of striking. But then it just goes nowhere. He's flat.
I just don't find he has enough depth or substance, and they changed his origin too much for him to have that impact.
It didn't resonate at all. Like he was completely forgettable.
No.
Give him all these powers. It's like, no, wait. Then what's the point of even having him as a supervillain if he could do all these things? It's like,
okay, well, let's go right into that then. Okay, so from now on out, spoilers for Fant Four-Stick.
Yes.
Oh god,
we called it. We called it.
Welcome to Amateur Hour.
So I want to jump right to the end battle, right? So because earlier when Doom shows up and he's in the hallway and he's popping people's fucking heads, right? I thought that was cool. I'm like, okay, so he's got crazy midichlorians, right? Popping people's heads. I was kind of taken. I'm like, holy shit! There's a lot of blood spatter on the walls and everything. That's kind of cool. And then when they start to get after him in the hallway, the thing looked cool in those hallway shots, right? And I'm like, okay, let's go after him, right? They're gonna fight this in this facility. This could be fucking cool, right? And they go off to CGI land, and in the middle of nowhere. And then once he's there, they still kind of could have saved it for me because I'm thinking, okay, well, how the hell are they going to fight him if he could just pop their fucking heads? And all he does is just toss rocks. That's all he did.
You run into this problem a lot in different movies when they are not accounting for the framework of their own fiction. So when you put in telekinesis, and active telekinesis on like a body, you pretty much screwed yourself. Because you can't, and if the other characters are not in the fiction, in the framework of the fiction, able to negate that ability, then you're just left with, well, why the hell is he just throwing rocks? Like in the Matrix, we see Neo like his increasing abilities, and there's that one scene. I think it's the third one or the second one. I can't remember which one it is. It's that scene in the foyer with the big stairwell, and he leaps off over to one side, and he all of a sudden takes a sigh and uses telekinesis to bring the sigh to his head. You just changed the game right there. Why is he fighting people hand to hand? It destroys the whole narrative of the Matrix.
Even before that, he stops the bullets.
Right.
It's okay. You have some skill.
Right. So when as soon as you introduce the fact that he can, like, create hypercephaly, like basically hydrocephaly to an eruptive degree in a cranium, he should be able to do that with everybody. And why is if it's on for his own survival? Why is he throwing rocks? Doesn't make any sense.
It's almost like a Sith power. You've got Darth Vader who can choke you like that, but yet against Luke who's just
But at least the Jedi's can negate with their own force. They can cancel.
I can see good versus evil. I can see some of that.
They can negate the force. At least there's that. But if you're not, that's at least a Sith and a Jedi, two powers that can kind of. You can at least rationalize the balance.
He got the upside, I got the downside. The Schwartz.
The Schwartz.
My Schwartz is lost in
Spaceballs, kids. Spaceballs.
By the way, it's a really shitty movie when during the review we're spending a good time talking about other movies. Thank you, Fant Four-Stick, for helping us reminisce of movies we actually like.
The interesting thing about Doom was they made him look eerie. They made him look like very much. He became this demigod in a world of his own, by himself, and so hence a little bit psychotic, and which was eerie and so on. Interesting, but not Doom. It would, to any respect. Dr. Doom is one of the most incredible villains. Like he is your picaresque villain that you love to hate.
And he's a nationalist.
To the third person.
And he's a nationalist.
Yeah,
he cares about
exactly.
Liberia.
He does. He
actually
has a love for his country, and sometimes you just want to side with him. Like that's what I'm saying. He is one of the most endearing, terrible villains.
He is the true hero of his own story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas here, he just wants to go back to his fucking rock planet.
Yeah, and just like stare at it. I don't know.
See you later.
And they also, you know, sure you can play with certain abilities and so on that they have or whatever, but you have to stay true to it at a certain point. Like you know, Sue Richards, invisible and with a shield, fine, good. Doom, telekinetic nightmare, and basically can do anything on the behest of his whim, right? That's not what Doom's about. Those aren't Doom's powers.
Yeah.
How do you have the Fantastic Four pit against him if you want to have a good, believable, interesting fight? You know, you can't have someone who's powered like that. Like that's something that Superman might not even be able to deal with if you can use telekinesis.
Yeah.
I know.
Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze has more character development in Batman and Robin.
Absolutely, and it's terrible to say that, but it's not even his origin story. Like what we're explaining, you got like I said, it's Zod's friggin', or not even Zod's origin story. It's a small portion of Zod's story after Jor-El banishes him to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
Like they took that and they gave it to Doom and thought that was enough of an origin.
Yeah.
Come on, it's lame. It's lame.
He loses his power like when he is the head of a nation and he comes in as this Latverian, almost like angry diplomat, like vying for his country, and he has like the country behind him. He has this almost like Cold War Soviet power behind him. You know what I mean? Like he's a Stalin. Thank you. I was just saying the same thing, like a Stalin or something like that. Here he's just a crazy. He's like a recluse. He's like a hobo that got powers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just
very, very smart hobo that got powers.
Yeah.
Originally, I remember Toby Kebbell, who plays Doom, fantastic actor.
Oh yeah.
He before the film came out, like months ago, when maybe it's still in production, he said, the character's Viktor Domashev. He's kind of an activist, like a hacker. And then the internet kind of blew up, being like, "What? This is bullshit." He has to be. And then, so then, if you look, there was the arbitrary shot.
Yeah.
His name is now Victor Von Doom.
Yeah.
There's a shot on a piece of paper that says Victor Von Doom, hometown Latveria, and that's all.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a knee-jerk reaction. It was almost like when
they were going to save that for 2.
Yeah. Remember when before the Ninja Turtles came out? And there, the rumor was that they were going to be aliens.
Yeah, aliens from space.
Everything came out, and everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Smarten the fuck up!" And they're like, "No, it's Hughes, it's Hughes." And William Fichtner was apparently supposed to be Shredder, and they're like, "What? White guy from the Midwest? Smarten the fuck up!" Right? He's Japanese. And they got just that they got the Japanese guy in the shadow.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for TM Ninja Turtles 2, they've actually cast an actual actor for Shredder who will be in Light. Just him. I forget his name, but they actually got.
Not Mexu?
No, well, he'll probably have some sort of ridiculous. He'll have some ridiculous suit, but at least you'll see him without the suit. It won't just be a shadow. It's just the knee-jerk reaction. But okay, so at least like some positive stuff. I did get what I was hoping for of what they sold us, right? That whole transformation of when they get their powers and when they try to beam back from Earth Zero, which are supposed to be the negative zone, right? That was scary shit, right? Like the fire comes in, and even all the rocks, all the rocks hit Ben Grimm. It was some stupid storytelling to actually get them to that point. Like they're all drunk and Ben Grimm just kind of shows up. Yeah, this is my buddy. We're going. Oh, sure. Like, the worst security guard.
This unattended NASA facility.
You know what I mean?
We talk about good things. Good things.
Oh yeah, good things. Yes.
But that stuff really did deliver. It was scary. The tone and the atmosphere of all that was fucking kick-ass. When Reed Richards kind of wakes up and he's crawling, and he looks back and the legs are stretched, that got me.
Yeah, the horror, because it wasn't like in other movies you might find that he'd be like, and his hand reaches out and grabs him a Coke, and he's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. It's very playful.
Yeah.
This was like, oh man, I'm deformed.
It was real.
I'm deformed. You know what I mean?
The screams of Ben Grimm and the
Yeah,
rock.
and then you hear Ben Grimm's breathing. He's like, Reed. He's like, and you're like walking around, and he's crawling over top of him, and he doesn't even know it because he doesn't know he's a pile of rock, and he's very much a misshapen Hulk of a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is misshapen, and much like the titans of ancient Greece
Yep.
myth, where they're like these terrible beings because they are misshapen like hulks. And that's what the thing is. He's
almost like
asymmetrical.
and like a Quasimodo as well.
Yes, exactly, very much right.
No.
So
And they fixed his voice in the preview. We were really concerned about the voice because in trailer number 3, he was like, "Nobody can fix this." Like, honestly, if you go back and you play that trailer number 3, because I did this after I watched it because I was curious about it. It's like nobody can fix this. In the movie, it's nobody can fix this. They did add
add some depth.
But you know, his voice is still a little higher than it should be. But there's a reverb over it.
Right.
It's like it's like a.
I was good with it.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, it still should have been more of the original thing. You know.
This thing really, and even after that transformation scene when they finally returned, well, other than Sue Storm, she doesn't even go on the fucking mission.
Yeah.
No, I know. Can I just say one thing? So Ben Grimm, he leaves wherever he goes, and you have Sue Storm that's been working with you from jump, just working with you, working hard, You guys decide to plant a flag on the negative zone, and you're like, leave the woman. Leave the woman back there. What the hell was that?
Yeah,
what the heck was that? And it's like, she didn't even go on the trip. She just, as soon as they came back, she got hit with a blast. And
Some kind of feedback.
And it's like,
I have no idea. That wasn't even. It wasn't. They didn't even show what happened to her.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
There was that training montage where she just created a bubble. It was like, I guess she got hit.
Yeah. If she was wearing suntan lotion, she would have been fine.
It was really quick. She got like hit over on the chair.
I know.
And then it was literally just like she went translucent very quickly.
That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck?
if I didn't know about
I think I blinked at that point.
If I didn't know about Fantastic Four, I would have thought Sue Storm's power was bad wigs. There'd be one time I'm like, she's a black woman to teach her about weaves because I don't know what the heck is going on. First she has like a bright blonde one, and then she has a ratty one, and I'm like, is this her? Is she changing with the? It's awful. What I did like, the one thing I did like was that Johnny Storm's car had the firepower from the Nintendo symbol, like you know when you get the
I didn't notice that.
Oh no, I didn't notice it either.
That's it.
Oh, that's
the only good thing.
the sole thing in the film.
I'll give it more than that. I'm sticking with my thing that half of it is good because even after, so say what you will, you know, there was enough of cool body horror in the getting the origins that kept me in it. And then after, when Reed kind of wakes up and he's all stretchy and all fucked up, and then you're seeing each of them.
Suffering through their own.
That's what I wanted.
It was crazy, and I liked, you know, Johnny Storm. It's not that he just, you know, turns on his flame and he's just like, this is so cool, and then all of a sudden starts shooting fireballs and knows has like this kinesthetic.
There was a learning.
He was there looking dead. Like first of all, it doesn't look like he's the Human Torch at first. It just looks like a dude who's dead and on fire. You know what I mean? Which looked great. It was very carnal, very very trying to the eye. It was gruesome, right? And then when he actually like shows up and he's on fire, it is very much like one of my, if not my favorite comic series from Marvel, which is the story Marvels by Alex Ross, and it's the horrific way they portray the original Human Torch, and he's learning to try to even attempt to control his powers, and he's pressed up against a glass cylinder, and his eyes are hollows of red, and his face has this look of terror and anguish and confusion, and almost like a prayer for help. A cry for help is the look on the face, and you see that, you know, when you look at Torch for the first few times, there's this look of like, what am I? What's happening to me? And I like that, and that fits in with what you're saying.
You could probably help me with this, but what's the original Prometheus myth? Isn't it that he has to, like, he's tied to something?
Prometheus? Prometheus is he's punished by Zeus for giving fire to the human beings. He's chained to the cliff face, and eagles eat his liver eternally.
Eternally, and every day
every day he heals, and
it was almost like that. I got that like a Prometheus-esque feeling from, because he had like that pain in his eye, and it looked like, and it's almost like as he was learning, like there was almost like something being taken away from him every time. Like there was a price for his power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His humanity or something.
Exactly. which was fitting. That part I really liked.
Yeah. And I like that when eventually when he was kind of comfortable with his power, that he didn't just yell "flame on" and flame on. He was talking to the people who are the scientists who are observing him, and he's like giving them the indication that he's going to turn on. He goes, "Okay, flame on," and then he ignites, right? Which is I thought it was kind of cool.
I really like Michael B. Jordan, and I was a fan of Michael B. Jordan when he was on All My Children as RJ, the adopted brother. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm a fan of this guy. You know what I mean? And it's just you put Michael B. Jordan in this superhero role, and you don't even let him be Johnny Storm. He has all this charisma, and it's like you didn't even put that in the story because you're trying to start this origin story, but you don't even put enough background information. So it's like you're kind of just muddling through an origin story.
In all likelihood, you could see how maybe they were scared that it was going too dark. Apparently, 2 big action set pieces were pulled because that's one of the big things in this movie too. Is that there's no fucking action. Right? It's like Superman Returns all over again. Literally no action going on until Doctor Doom shows up at the end.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. And here I'm like, okay, well, our first, well, there's that bullshit kind of fight with Mr. Fantastic in the forest, and I'm sorry, there's just no way that Stretch can look cool. It still just looks goofy.
All I was thinking is like Jim Carrey in a mask.
Or who was it? What is it? Dal Zim from...
Where he gets the double punch from like
Yoga Fire.
That's all that was. Is that Saga?
Yeah.
What did Dal Zim say when he...
Nothing. He just did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In my head, he goes like, that is good. But yeah, he just reminded me of Dal Zim double punch.
Yeah.
There's just no way... And you can tell that was just kind of thrown in. But every time they've done a Fantastic Four movie, it's been like what you said. It's been the book report is late.
Yeah.
They've done it just to keep the rights. That's it. Yeah. And so now it comes. What happens to these rights? They're gonna give this another shot.
Just give
them back.
Just give it tomorrow. Let Marvel take care of it.
Yeah. But if you're Marvel, are you really motivated to get this back? Do you really care?
Just to prove that they can do a good job.
They might just. I mean, this has happened with Fox before, right? I mean, Marvel. The reason Marvel got Daredevil back was because not that they made an arrangement. They just let Fox forget about it. Say, this is dead for us. Just let the rights expire. Comes on back, and then they create something good. That's likely the way it'll probably. Right.
It's just unfortunate, like you said, that it's taken this many kicks at the can. It's gonna leave a bad taste in fans' mouths. I went in without. This is the only introduction to the Fantastic Four I have. I haven't read the comics. I haven't gone they're not part of my canon. You know what when it comes to Marvel, and I just think they're goofs. You know what I mean? I have no endearment to them whatsoever. So they would have to literally turn them on their head for it to be worthwhile for me.
We got half of that. Half the movie is turning them on their head, but it really is a big shame because they are. And again, I don't have a lot of ties to the comics. I didn't grow up with them either, but I at least know enough to understand that they are the first family of Marvel. They were kind of Marvel's answer to the Justice League as far as a team before the Avengers. And I like cool space operas and everything with Galactus, like we talked in the preview, could have big potential. Reed Richards is such an instrumental part of the universe as far as his brain, right?
But see, that's the problem here. I know you said, for the first half it's good. I mean, there are good elements there. I loved the acquisition of their powers, how it manifests, and how they react to them. But there are things, and even initially, that kind of just disallowed me from really grafting to the film. How old is Reed Richards when he built his first teleporter?
Oh yeah,
7?
Yeah, exactly.
8? Come on. Whatever, come on, it was a bit much.
I'm okay with that. If he's supposed to be the smartest guy,
I
explain like Bobby Fischer.
No, I understand.
Right? That's like a comic book version of Bobby Fischer.
I understand that, but the thing is, there's a certain chemistry that the Fantastic Four have that made them successful, right? Where you have the more wizened Reed Richards, and Sue Storm, the iconography there, and then you have the surly Thing, and then you have the brash, Human Torch. Now you just have a bunch of kids.
They definitely dropped the ball on the Reed Richards personality because he just dips. He takes off.
Exactly.
Doesn't see anybody for a year.
Comes back, everything's cool.
Nobody's mad. Nobody's anything. It's very much the Saturday morning version of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the Saved by the Bell version. You know?
Well, the thing that made even cartoons, the thing that made Fantastic Four watchable was their outlandish adventures. You can't do this origin story anymore. Like, you know, Fantastic Four versus the Mole Man, or going up into space, and all of these, you know what I mean? The Inhumans, and you know, going into alternate dimensions. Also, they need to tie in the story, because it's like a family that typically doesn't really like each other. You know, Sue Storm is, you know, on the verge of divorcing, you know, Reed Richards all the time, and she has this relationship with Submariner sometimes, and they're dating and whatnot, and you know, the Thing and Johnny Storm, they hate each other or something a lot, because you know, he's always pulling pranks. The Thing trying to find love and be a part of humanity, even though he's this person.
He loses his girl.
That's the story, and they have to have that dysfunction.
From watching it, you can guarantee you're watching two different movies. You know, there's the one I think they kind of set out to make originally, which is a dark kind of indie, very close to the same kind of Chronicle atmosphere.
Yeah.
The same kind of atmosphere you got in Chronicle of them kind of, you know, just like this fear and this dark tone of what the hell we
Carnal,
doing.
real, more grounded.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame, because all of us here, nothing more than we want is to watch quality, excellent-looking superhero movies. Right?
Exactly.
You know, taken seriously, grounded with some good thought, and you know, after the kind of run we've had, where we're so great, it's fucking really.
But they all can't be number ones.
No, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys, here on Hero Lair for the Meathead review of Fant 4-Stick. You can follow us on Twitter at the Hero Lair. My name is Dan. You can follow me at DanPhilippeDF. Next thing, we got Sean Sims.
Watch Star Wars Episode 1, other than this movie.
Yeah.
Where can the people follow you?
At Big Sims, Big_Sims on Twitter, and Simplicity on Instagram. So
We got Big Mario on the end.
Yeah, you can find me at Mario Hammerall, HAMMERALL, on Twitter.
And Josh, for my authorship, it's www.joshuamartyr.com.
All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you soon.